Okay, this video, I want to start with a proviso saying, I realize I am in a super lucky position. My whole family's in a lucky position. The COVID-19 stuff has not impacted us really badly in any way. We've been very lucky. The largest impact is, of course, the kids working from home for school, me working from home, and as we go into the fall, the transition for the kids being partially back in school or fully, depending on what they're doing, and then I'm still working from home. So this video is really just going to be kind of an overview of how I'm working from home. It may look like I'm trying to look at all this cool technology and stuff, but it's not that at all. I recognize completely how lucky I am to have this situation, but it's just more of a record of how I do things. Maybe it'll give somebody else an idea of, hey, that might work for me, or maybe you'll watch this and go, that's a dumb way to do it. Do it this way instead. If you come into those ones, put a comment down below, let me know, and we'll go from there. I am in a super good position. I am super lucky. I acknowledge that. We try and make sure the kids know all the time how lucky we really are, because others have had obviously a much worse time than we have during this whole thing. So we really have to remind the kids that, yeah, wow, they got to play a lot of video games yesterday, and we got to do stuff at home. We got to go in the pool. It's lucky that we got to do all those things, and that we're all healthy, and that nobody's gotten sick. And so it's just a reminder for that. The other side of it is, while I'm always making very clear to myself and to the kids that we're super lucky, I have to acknowledge there's still stress. There's still the risk of getting sick, family getting sick. A bunch of my family's in a different city here in the province that had a fairly large breakout for a while of the COVID-19. So, the risks are still there. It's going to be ongoing for months. So this, the stress is there. The moving home, trying to get things organized. I want to make sure that my group staff members are doing good. Make sure I'm doing good. Make sure the kids are doing good. Make sure the wife's doing good. There is a lot of stress, and I also already had a stressful job. So it's an extra layer of stress. I need to acknowledge that stress is there and deal with it while still understanding how lucky we really are. Feeling stress, feeling the anxiety of the situation of the world we're in right now is normal, is natural. If I don't recognize the stress, don't recognize the anxiety and deal with it, there's statistics there that just aren't pleasant, right? So you just deal with the issues, deal with the problems, be thankful for what you have, and make sure to enjoy time with your kids, enjoy time with your family. It's an interesting time. Same as the curse and blessing, the ancient curse and blessing. May you live in interesting times, and we live in interesting times. So yeah, I'm not sure what people will get from this video, but it's just kind of some of the stuff I've set up, just kind of as a different workspace. Again, I've been lucky, like all the desktops in here, all the space, the printers, the chairs. It's all stuff we already had. I just needed to make room for the work stuff to come into this space. So that's nice. If this room wasn't available, we do have other spaces in the house where I could have been in a more open spot but still do the work. For example, this is going to be kind of dark, but here in the rec room, we've got some couches and that table. I could easily put some chairs and stuff like that here. I still need to, it's such a comfortable spot, those chairs, those couches and stuff, that I might still do some meetings sitting there. I haven't done it yet, but okay. So over the last few weeks, last several weeks actually, You've seen videos coming from me on the channel here on various technology things, monitor replacement, TV replacement, a video conferencing puck, essentially a USB speaker. But now I just kind of want to touch base and look at, how do I actually work from home? As of recording this, I am pushing 25 weeks at home. It'll be 25 weeks at home this week. And then next week hits 26 weeks at home, half a year. Pretty crazy. So over time, how I've done things here at home has changed, especially as a transition from very temporary, unsure how long it's going to be, but doesn't seem like it's going to be that long, to longer temporary, to now temporary that could be another 4 months, that kind of thing. So I've done some adjustments, some changes, and how do I actually work from home? Because looking around my room here, there are plenty of distractions. So how do I actually make this work? Well, first off, this tree here, this is where I do my personal stuff. This is all my personal computer. See my camera there that I've used for a bunch of sitting videos you'll see on the channel. This monitor I've had for quite some time. On the channel recently, I did do the unboxing for these two guys. Just to, I had two 4x3 smaller monitors that I was using here. So those were replaced. Just basically get me more screen real estate, but also the inputs. Changing the inputs so that, the nice thing is these ones had legacy stuff to be able to use my old computer, but also to be able to attach new stuff because I needed flexibility for work stuff and for future stuff for when I eventually do replace that computer. We got two chairs. This task chair. This is where I'm really trying to concentrate generally, when I'm really trying to focus. And then this black one, this kind of fake leather one. It's when I'm more trying to just be comfortable, relaxed, when I'm doing more meetings, that kind of stuff. These chairs will switch positions depending on what I'm doing and what computer I'm working at, depending on what's going on. So yeah, so this computer is my personal one. As I said, the different monitor stuff, we just, we'll have seen the video on the channel. If not, check it out. But yeah, it's so I do a fair bit of work on this thing, personal stuff. I do keep a log on this computer of all the different stuff that's been kind of happening since the first day I started working from home. Basically, be keeping a COVID-19 log just to track what I've been doing. So this is kind of my view from here, that kind of stuff. That camera there for various vlogging kind of stuff. Behind me is the 4K TV with the Xbox for when I'm doing personal time. I can play video games, that kind of stuff. It does have YouTube, that kind of stuff in it. The TV does have the smart stuff on it. This is, of course, a replacement for the original TV I had here that I had before COVID started, just as this is basically my little den here to play some video games and watch some shows and stuff like that without bugging the rest of the family. A TV was here, and I took advantage of that TV to do some other stuff that eventually, when the TV started acting up and shutting down all the time, I needed to find a replacement because I needed to use basically a special computer for work on a screen. It's just a small laptop with some extra security settings. I have to do some extra security stuff to get through to a specialized computer system. And it's just because it's a small laptop, it has a small screen, and some of the displays on it were just not great to read. So I had it up on big 1080p TV, and that I was using. Then it started acting up, and when the TV started acting up, just shutting down. It would shut down at the most inopportune times, and just super irritating. So I actually did move the laptop to go off one of the ports on this monitor, so that this is my work stuff over here. I'll get to that in a minute for my main work stuff. And I then was using that specialized computer here so I could sit in one spot and actually touch everything. This is one thing about here, is that if I don't close the door completely, I do get visitors. But so I could use this. Now, what I was finding though is occasionally then, this monitor has two HDMIs, a DisplayPort, and a VGA. One of the HDMI is going to my main computer. Second HDMI I had out going to that specialized computer for a while. But if I was working on that computer here, I would kind of pull this out, this monitor arm out, right here. There's another visitor. Pull this out here, and it would let me kind of work in a just in a big U shape. Now, the unfortunate thing about that is the monitor was kind of disconnecting from the main computer when doing that. And it really looked like I had a bum HDMI port and I was screwing it up. So I didn't really want to do that for very long or very frequently. And I did later find it was just an HDMI cable, but I didn't figure that out until after I'd actually moved the laptop over to the new 4K TV instead. So yeah. So then over in the work laptop here, apparently I've got a virus scan ready to go. I'll just sit that there. So yeah, this is where I'm sitting here. So we got laptop and dual monitors, webcam for any video conferencing instead of the actual laptop cam. I do find that I don't do a lot of video conferencing. I just don't want to burn the bandwidth. We're always using a secured pipe into work that's got a limited bandwidth, and I don't want to chew it up with video. There's the USB puck for video conferencing, the audio stuff like that. I've got it on a USB extension cable into the back of here. So I can sit it here while I talk. I can also take it over there with me while I'm working there if I want to. Or I can just kind of leave it here on the side and kind of talk into it while I'm working. So you can see I got extra keyboards here, a phone, a bunch of other stuff. So what do I do here? Let's go kind of scan across. Okay, so up there, really old tablet. Just using it as a picture frame right now. Just kind of some ambience in the room. Lamp here. What I'm finding is the overhead lights in this room just do not, especially with all these monitors, the monitors are just sucking in the light, and it's too dark. So I have this lamp here. It's got an LED light in it, so it's not generating extra heat, but it's just kind of projecting and bouncing, giving me light here, in underneath, just basically helping to light up this whole space so it's not this dark corner I'm working in. So that's there. Pointing at the Google Home Mini there, so I can ask the Google to do stuff if I want. I also use this old S4 Samsung phone, Android phone, that don't use anymore. It's got to be 7 years old, 8 years old at this point. Don't use it anymore, so I just use it to basically cast music via Bluetooth to or Wi-Fi. I guess it's Wi-Fi because it's just using the home Google Home app. But yeah, just broadcast my music into that guy, and I'll just play music while I am working here, and it's music coming towards me. And then these three monitors set up in different ways. Generally, I keep my Microsoft Teams stuff over here for various conversations and texts. This one is where I work, where I'm typing, I'm doing a bunch of normal stuff. And then over here, I'm keeping my email, my OneNote, and things like that, where I'm just tracking my work for the day, stuff that's going on. So this keyboard and mouse here, the secondary one, so this keyboard and that mouse are connected to this laptop. That keyboard and mouse are connected to the laptop, the special security laptop that's connected to that TV over there. So depending on what I want to do and what I need to do, I can just kind of pop the keyboard and laptop out and just do a quick work right here on this space. Or depending on if I need to do a little bit more, I can take that TV table over, just kind of sit it here and just kind of work like this while I go back and forth. And if I have to do a lot of work, I can just, of course, take the keyboard and mouse over there, move the chair over, and sit right in front of that TV and work for what I need to do. I do have it is a 4K TV, but I have it running 1080p for the laptop because sitting that close to a 4K TV when trying to work with stuff is just a little too much. So what else? If we scan across, we already talked about the phone. Just, of course, some pens because we still need that stuff. Got a set of reading glasses I keep down here. Don't really need them that much, but it's sometimes some really close text I need something. In the gray pouch is some blue light blocking glasses. No magnification in them. Those are just, I've got LED light going on there. I've got all these monitors. That lamp is normally on during the day if I'm not getting a lot of sunlight in that window. This is a basement office. That's a pretty big window for a basement office, but that, sometimes, especially in the morning, and it's going to be worse during the winter, is that I'm not getting necessarily a lot of light in there, so I have that light on. I'm just going to turn that on real quick to show that it's a fairly bright light, but it's LED'd as well, so it's not giving a lot of extra waste heat to the room, but it does give a lot of light, and of course it aims towards the blue spectrum as well. So where the blue light glasses, just got them very, very recently just to see. I'm starting to get a few more headaches during the day. Eyes are bugging me, especially as I'm doing a lot more work in various productivity stuff, and I'm not switching computers as frequently right now. So that's something I'm going to try out. This space here under this monitor, that's where I'll keep my work cell phone. This is a Qi wireless charger. Hood off my personal phone is on there, or right beside it if it doesn't need a charge. But that's there and available for me. All this other stuff is all part of my personal computer, but like I said, I do have an HDMI cable that come out of this guy that I can move that secured laptop that's over here. I can move it back over to this guy if I need to. And say I'm doing a lot of work between these two computers, and I just need to be able to access it faster and more ergonomically than kind of just glancing over to the side. So that's where I work with this stuff is a little bit different than a lot of other people in my office that do work with that secure computer. Is I go in and do little pieces. I don't work in it constantly, so I just need to be able to hop in, check things, and hop back out. But there are times when I need to be in there for a few hours at a time, and that's when it may be worthwhile to just kind of connect into there. And I have checked, I can get an HDMI cable to run all the way from where that laptop is sitting to there, and I don't have to rearrange everything. So that's something I've done in the last couple weeks, is got that all sorted. So that's all good. That all works now to what is good for me. So just my personal computer, keyboard, got a Stream Deck, some USB cables and stuff like that. My speakers, the various monitors, the camera I talked about already. Got the amplifier for my microphone for recording voiceover type stuff. In behind here is another pretty old laptop. That's like a 2012 laptop, and it wasn't very powerful at the time, but that runs basically all my backups. So every night at midnight it runs, and it goes to where I've stored pictures from the cameras, from the phones, and it runs and it backs those up to different locations on my my home network. Go back to the TV. We kind of talked about already the Xbox, and then the TV itself. In behind, I have that secured work laptop, just mounted vertically, so it just kind of disappears in behind there, like for various knickknacks and things like that. Got two printers here, both I had before, like way pre COVID-19. Top one is an inkjet, all dried out for ink. It's been dried out for ink for years, but it's got a good quality scanner, and it does network scanning. So that's awesome. It works great for a bunch of different things, and the kids have used it quite heavily through the early part of the COVID stuff, where we would scan stuff and send it to the teachers to say that, hey, here's the work that they've done. This printer, it's an older Samsung Laser. It was whack when, I haven't looked at what a laser printer costs now, but it is a color laser with 4 different ink cartridges. And it was, at the time, it was bought super, super cheap for my wife's business. But it had these, like very limited ink cartridges, or toner cartridges, I guess, because it's a laser. Very small toner cartridges and things like that. So it just, it ran out really quick. And then, of course, the cost of refilling it with ink is more expensive than buying a new printer and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's so wasteful. So went and we did find online a place that sold basically refurbished cartridges for it, or toner cartridges for it. and we bought a bunch at the time that lasted forever. Like, this is probably going back like 3-4 years, and we finally replaced the first of the blacks this like a couple months ago, because the kids were printing out a bunch more stuff than what we had been doing in a while. So, and I think I still have, so we got a brand new black in there, lots of the colors, and I think I still got a full set of replacements. So this is good. We're good for that. There's a new addition, is that whiteboard. We had that up in the kitchen. We'd used it near the fridge or on one of the doors in the kitchen, but it just wouldn't stay up. And we found we weren't using it anyway, so we just had it kind of sitting down beside the fridge out of the way. And I went, okay, well, I'm going to snag that and bring that down here. So it sits right behind me. I just got to turn around, write stuff on it. Works not too bad. What else do we got going on over here? I got another table over here where I can put notepads and things like that, Kleenexes, stuff that's just out of the way. How I've changed things here. At one point I had this switched 90 degrees. It was sticking out here, which made it nice and close for me and made this path a little wider. But it encroached on the space. So all I did really get back was like 3-4 inches by spinning it this way. But it's noticeable when I'm sitting down. So it's good. Got power bars under there so I can plug in chargers if I need to, all that kind of stuff. That's all good. What else do we got here? By the Lump of Dog, I got some lightweights. Those are some 10-pounders. Got some 20-pounders here. That's where one of the dogs will sleep when he comes to visit, depending on who comes to visit and when they decide to come through. Yeah, so the weights I do a few times a week. Basically, it takes me 5 minutes to go through a set of about 8 to 10 exercises, all upper body. Although no, I've actually added some lower body, some lunges and some squats and calf raises or toe raises with the lighter weights here, just to do something extra to move around. I mean, I do get out in the pool. Sometimes I get out in the pool at lunch hours, sometimes in the morning before work, but after work, that kind of stuff. That's been a good chunk of my exercise, but I do make sure I do these weights. I do have some heavier weights over by where I've got the treadmill, but those, I do those like 3-4 times a week as well. Different set of exercises than I do with these lighter ones. These ones are really just about movement. Those ones are a bit more about strength exercises, but so just something to keep moving. So back to the original purpose of this kind of setup video. It's how, like, obviously I've got many things that can distract me. I can fire up YouTube on this thing. I can fire up Twitch, watch a game streamer. I could play a video game. I could get on my main computer, decide to do something personal, like a YouTube video edit or something like that. How do I prevent myself from doing that? Well, focus generally, and by basically trying to... A good chunk of what I do is I schedule my day out. I have certain meetings that will come up, either some that are regular meetings that I have to do every day or every week, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, there's ad hoc meetings people have called. But I generally try and schedule then. I'm going to work on this activity, this activity, this activity. That's where the whiteboard comes in to help track some of those bigger activities I need to do. But basically, I'm going to feel guilty if I'm not working on the activities I've got set to track. So I do that. How do I deal with noise, though? Noise is another thing, because there's lots of distractions. So some of them I can push through, right? Because they're just internal distractions. You know, I'd love to play a video game instead of doing work some days, but that's just trying to be a professional and doing what needs to be done. What about other things? Like, well, the kids have been here at home. They always need stuff, things like that. That requires flexibility, and that's okay. That's our managers and supervisors have made it understood that they realize they've got kids too, that during this time, flexibility is required. I may need to hop off the computer for 10 minutes to go help somebody do some printing, somebody write some stuff up, somebody do some math, help somebody make lunch, things like that. I may have to hop out and do those kind of things instead of just sitting here at this one chair the whole time that I'm on shift. And that's recognized, so that's good. It's good that that's there. That's when the kids were in school. When the kids aren't in school through the summer, they may be a little bit more noisy during the day. The dogs are a bit more noisy during the day, that kind of thing. So I do have the door that closes, as long as I remember to close it all the way. Sometimes I'll just partially close it, just kind of as an indication to everybody that I'm probably going into a meeting, but it's okay. You can come talk to me if you need to, those kind of things. That's taken as a open invitation by the dogs that just come slamming the door open and they come in and visit. So it's really just supposed to be an invitation to the kids if they need me, but instead it becomes for the dogs. But I have to be careful, and if I'm really going into an important meeting where I can't be distracted, I need to close that door completely, watch it click, and so I got that distraction removed. Doesn't always work because one of the dogs will bark at the door if he can't come in, because he's usually excited because a rabbit's in the front yard or something. He's got to tell me. But so that's one thing I do. Another thing I do is I did talk about the phone and the Google Home Mini. I will play music. Quite often I stream online Disney radio stations, playing Disney music, mostly atmosphere type stuff, so background music and things like that. Music specifically designed to keep you happy and active and moving and doing stuff. So I play a lot of that. That's a big one for me. Other things I'll do, that definitely happens pretty much every morning. I do that. I'll trigger that first thing in the morning before I go into any meetings, and I'll have that playing and pause it when I go into meetings and that kind of stuff. But that's what I'll do pretty much every day. Many days, I will take this. If I'm not doing a lot of work on the secure laptop connected to here, I will put this in YouTube and I'll put on an ambient video of some sort. So right now I've got fall foliage and stuff like that. It's cooler out today, so that's where my brain went. But I'll put beach stuff with some the background noise of the splashing waves, or a forest with rain on the leaves and things like that. Just relaxing sounds, bright visuals, stuff that you look at it and go, oh, that's cool. But it's not going to draw you in like somebody talking or somebody playing a game or something like that. But it's just something to give you a little bit of that's nice. And then I keep working. So that's a big one for me, is these things, especially with the sounds on and stuff like that. They really help, especially in the afternoons when, I'd probably rather be out in the pool. So that's kind of where I've gotten to now, is that music and ambient videos, just to give me background noise and stuff like that. I guess that's where I'm going with that, is a lot of this is about playing with different stuff and figuring out what works for me in different situations. Because there's different times, depending on what I need to do, what kind of work I need to do, what level of concentration I need, and what I can have for background noise or concentration, things like that. Because there are some stuff I'm working on where any noise at all is bad. I just need focus, quiet. Luckily, that's not most of the time, because we have 3 dogs and 2 kids, and noise happens. So luckily, that's not too frequent. But that's a lot of what I do for that kind of stuff. For other stuff, I'm always willing to tweak things a little bit, just to try and find what works, because I'm never going to get it perfect. Because there's always things I want to change, things I want to do. But yeah, as long as it's not costing money too much, I'm willing to tweak things, move things around, make some changes. As it is right now, the main thing that is solid, not moving, is this monitor tree. This is staying here. The computer is connected to it down below is staying there. There's no changes. Maybe other stuff might change in some time, but not right now. This seems to be working quite well for myself now. Yeah. I don't know what this will end up being like for a video, because it's just kind of meandering discussion. I didn't have a very good beginning to end discussion of how everything all ties together, but it is what it is. It is working super great. Trying to keep a level of professionalism for me helps as well. Like people, sweatpants and shorts and all the time and things like that. And I'm probably at under almost 6 months now. Like, we're almost 6 months. I have worn gym pants or shorts to work probably less than 6 times. I wear jeans. I mean, jeans is what I feel comfortable in. It's also what I wear to work. If I'm wearing jeans, I'm generally focused. I'm trying to work. That helps my mindset when I'm sitting here as well. So just little weird tricks and tips. That one's just a weird one for me, is that, yeah, wearing jeans helps me focus being the work perspective. That's one of the weird things. I do like that I haven't had to wear a dress shirt or a collared shirt for a while, although I'm wearing one right now, which is kind of weird. But this is a running base layer shirt. This is not necessarily a collar. It's actually it's not a business collar. Let's put it that way. It's neck warmth generally. But yeah, so I mean, I don't miss that at all. Wearing all those shirts all the time. They're just so restrictive. The room is good. It does get quite warm in here. Quite often, I find. So that's the interesting thing, is during the summer, the air conditioning in the house ran fairly constant. We had a very hot summer here, many days over 30 Celsius, and what's that for American friends? Like 92, something like that. Which we get there, and there are days where we were pushing over 40 Celsius. So what's that, 80? Like it's over 110 or close to 110 Fahrenheit. And it got toasty. So the air conditioning was running. I'd make sure when I get up to come down here, I'd make sure the air conditioning was running, and it would cool off the room. Unfortunately, his son's bedroom is down here too, and he'd get kind of cold. But I needed, with all the stuff I got running down here, all the computers and things like that, I needed the air conditioning running to get everything kind of comfortable down here. As we're getting into some cooler weather, the air conditioning isn't running as frequently, so it gets warm down here. So it's kind of a weird spot where if it's 21, 22 degrees Celsius outside, it gets fairly warm in here, in this computer room, but it's not warm enough where we have the thermostat to kick the air conditioning in. I don't want to chill the whole house just for this one room. So luckily I can open that window and I get fresh air in, and that's great until it gets to a certain temperature where it's adding to the heat instead of taking it away. So it's just kind of a weird transition point right now for that. And then as we go into the winter, of course, the furnace will be running. And I suspect this room's not going to lead a lot of heat from the furnace, the central furnace. So I got air vents in the ceiling here where we get the cold from and that kind of stuff. I'm probably going to have to close those off during the day just to make sure I'm not getting heat in here too much, because it's going to get quite toasty. Now, the other interesting thing is 90% of the heat sources are desk height or higher. So when I'm sitting down here and my feet are underneath the table there, the heat, the heat's rising to the ceiling, but it's getting cold down here. I've even noticed that already. So that's why I've got that. So that I didn't mention before. That's a memory foam footrest. It helps a little bit with my calves, making sure the chairs don't cut into my feet, my back of my legs, and things like that. But memory foam, I can kind of sink my feet into them and kind of warm the feet up a little bit. And that's going to be probably even more important as we go into winter, because this is a basement, and while it's pretty well sealed, that is an outside wall, and it's an exterior wall, and that's at the floor, and I'm going to get cold air coming up down there, no matter how well sealed this place is. So that is something I'm going to have to deal with through the winter. Is I'm going to have cold feet, but the rest of my body's going to be warm. So again, not gigantic issues, but just ones I need to deal with, because I need to be productive here while I'm working. I need to be productive, and if I'm cold, if I'm uncomfortable, that kind of stuff, I'm not going to be as productive as I should be. And yeah, I mean, a good chunk of me wants to stay working from home forever, because this has been very positive for me, obviously, as I said. So a good chunk of me kind of wants that, or maybe only in the office a couple days a week, as opposed to, maybe, I know some people have floated that, work from the office 3 days a week and home 2 days a week. I'd kind of rather switch that up and work from home more frequently than the office. And in the office is when we go into maybe some larger meetings where we need some of that, where you need to be able to read people's facial expressions and body language and things like that. Stuff that, where you might have some contentious stuff you need to deal with, where seeing people's body language would be very helpful. So that's going to be interesting. The corporation I work for obviously is still trying to figure that all out. There is a pretty hefty chance, though, that I am out of the office until the new year at least. Although I might go back. Back in partially. It's hard to say how that all will transition. But right now they're doing a bunch of surveys and things like that. That's going to take them a month or two to go through all the survey information, figure out a plan. I'm thinking for people that don't have a critical reason to be back in the office immediately, decisions on what's going to be done with us will take some time, which is good. Take time and plan it out properly. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird long ramble, that kind of stuff. Makes me wonder if I should do some podcasting or something like that, because I can apparently just let my brain wander a little bit and let it talk for hours, apparently, and it's different than having a conversation, but just talking to the nether. Things to discuss about how you've set up your home, working from home stuff, what you've had to do, if something that you see me have makes sense to you, let me know that it was good for you, because that's kind of good for me to know that, hey, this makes sense for me. It gives me a good feeling for doing these kind of videos. But yeah, if you've got some other suggestions on what I should do, yeah, let me know that as well down in the comments. So I think I'm going to shut the video off here. Like, subscribe, and come on back for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you later.